Hey guys, K Bill with Social FD going beyond the nozzle. And tonight I'm speaking with Caleb from Pipeman Principles. Caleb, welcome in.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So do me a favor, introduce yourself to everyone that's listening and watching, and let them know what Pipeman Principles is all about.
Yeah, so like you said, I'm Caleb Pyle. Before you just click off and wondering who's this 12-year-old on your screen, I am 23. I am of age. I've been with Sugar Creek Township in New Palestine, Indiana, just east of Indy, for 5 years now. I got hired when I was 18, and I've been there since. I've been in the volunteer world for about 6 years now. I started when I was 17, and then I switched over to the department that I'm on now as a volunteer as well. Uh, Pipeman Principles is an engine operations class that goes beyond what you learn in your basic firefighting 1 and 2 classes, right? So in Fire 1 and 2, the goal of a lot of the instructors is, here's your hose line, advance it to your objective as fast as you can. You're being graded on how quick you can do it. In reality, we know that that doesn't really work. So we go through a flowing and moving. We go through the backup guy who always gets forgotten in training, how to move that hose for your pipe man to make that stretch easier. We go through searching off a hand line. We try to set the class up to where it's good for everybody from the guy who's walking in the door on day one all the way up to we've had 20-year captains taking our class. Uh, just across the board, it's about being more proficient while not forgetting the objective. Uh, kind of started off, I was running social media for the Kitchen Table podcast out of Central Indiana, and we needed content. And I was like, I love my engine company stuff. I'll just do some training videos, record some stuff, and I'll put it out there. And then got reached out to by a department near me, asking if I could come teach engine ops, and it became a class. And we're about to do our first live fire class, 2 days. Second day's all live fire, doing that at EICC Indianapolis this April, so next month. Still got some spots open if you're interested in that. Plug myself a little bit.
Absolutely.
But yeah, should be good.
Now, how long has the Pipeman Principles been sort of, I would say, operating or been a concept, or how long? When was the first time you started doing the trainings?
So it started off with the social media stuff, and it was basically June, I think, of 2024. Was the first one we posted. Got some really good traction, and then I got reached out to about the class in July, and built the class in a month. Kind of put together some instructors, had some practices, and went and sent it. Built a lecture for it, and then our hands-on stations. So we've been operating since August of 24. We're about to do our. We've got classes 4, 5, and 6 on the schedule already this year. So
Well, you had also talked about social media. Do you think social media is important for, let's just say, I concentrate on volunteer fire departments. That's really who Social FD is out to help. Um, would you say social media is important for volunteer fire departments to communicate with their communities now? And do you think it would help them with recruitment with the younger generation?
100%, right? I mean, speaking as the younger generation, I know
There you go.
that not 90% of the information that I get is on social media. Uh, sure, I'll see stuff on the news or whatever when it's just on in the firehouse, but if it wasn't for the firehouse, 100% of my news would come from social media. You have to build that trust with your community, right? Because they know you as individuals, like especially in my town where I live, they know us. Like they know that our captain is managing the bus barn for the school corporation. They know the guys that work at the local grain elevator. Like they know you as people, but they don't know you as an organization. So while they have the faces to names that career departments don't necessarily have with their communities, I feel like the side that is lacking on the in the volunteer world is they don't know who you are as an organization. They don't know what you do, where you get your funding. All that they know is that when they call 911, somebody on a fire truck shows up. And it doesn't matter to them if I'm getting paid or if I'm not. All that they know is they
Absolutely.
call, we show up. So
right,
building that trust with the community is huge for funding, for fundraisers, for support. And then on the recruitment side, nobody really knows what volunteer fire departments do other than volunteer fire departments. They don't see the trainings, they don't see the equipment, and they don't see the impact that they can have until it happens to them. And 95% of the younger generation, I mean, we're not old enough to have medical emergencies. And the only time that we would even see it is if, God forbid, we get in a car accident or we have a fire or whatever that may be. And it's really out of sight, out of mind, right? I know that my volunteer department runs about 650 runs a year. So it's not like they're seeing fire trucks up and down the street all day, every day. So if they don't
right.
see it and they don't see us have an online presence, they don't even know we're there. And if they do know we're there, they don't know how to apply. We may have people that show up to our stations and knock on the door when we're not there. So if we're not active on social media and they don't see that, they have no way to contact us, no way to reach out to us, and they just end up forgetting about it. And it's like, oh well, out of sight, out of mind. I forget again.
Yeah, and, one of the things I talk about a lot is when the volunteer fire department is posting on Facebook, it's usually a raffle, a fundraiser, or a big event like a big fire, big emergency. And what I'm out there trying to tell them is you have to have content, you have to have a lot of posting in order to have that community know who you are. Show them that you're cleaning the rig, show them that you're rolling hose, explain what the tools are, take a tour of the station, that type of stuff. Because the more you post, the Facebook algorithm, right? We'll just say up Facebook, the algorithm doesn't really put your posts out there unless you're constantly posting and constantly having that interaction. So there's some departments out there that are afraid to do that. And they're like, wow, we don't want to put our business on social media. Well, control it, right? Put a plan together and do it. And you'll be able to get that support and you'll be able to start getting more funding and you'll be able to have an easier way to do recruitment. And I also say that retention is also there on social media because if you have a podcast or if you simply put, hey, this guy just finished his training, good job, right? Then it makes them feel like they're a part of it even more because they're getting that credit. And it's free. And it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And
100%.
that's what we
Yep.
we help with and all that fun stuff. Do you have any social media accounts for Pipeman Principles? Where can people find you?
So we are active on Instagram and on Facebook. On Instagram, we're pipeman.principles. And on Facebook, we're just Pipeman Principles. I do need to be better about posting on there. I run so many social media accounts that the most important one I don't even post on. Uh, Especially like the winter's kind of our down season. Like we're not doing a lot of trainings because obviously we're flowing water a lot, so kind of puts a hamper on that. Uh, but yeah, I need to be better about it. But we are on socials, and I am fairly active when I have time.
Right? If somebody wants to have you do a training at their department or do a training for their organization, I mean, there's different fools groups out there that might be interested in talking with you. What's the easiest way that you feel comfortable with putting on online? What's the best, easiest way for them to get a hold of you? Would it be Instagram message or something?
Instagram message works. Um, you can email me, pipemanprinciples@gmail.com. I'll have that. I have notifications on my phone. But yeah, those would probably be the two best ways. Or you can message my personal account or Kitchen Table Podcast account or at any of them. Really, I'm pretty active on all of them. So I'll see your message and I'll respond pretty quick.
Now, you said you're 14 years, I don't know, what did you say, 23, 15? I don't remember. You said
Yeah,
something.
something like
Anyway,
that.
no, you're 23. I'm messing with you. Uh, being that younger generation coming into the fire service, what what caused you to have that spark of interest in the fire service?
So I got hired at 18. Um, but being a firefighter is all I've ever wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like I was that kid that was going to the firehouse all the time. My dad's a career fireman at a city northeast of Fishers or northeast. He's at Fishers. Indiana. He's been there 23 years. So if you do the math, he got hired about the time I was born. He was actually picking up his stuff for recruit class when my mom went into labor with me. So he went and picked up his stuff from recruit class and then met her at the hospital. Uh, but he also volunteered at the department that we lived in. So I was constantly at the firehouse. My mom was an elementary school principal growing up. So I was either at the school or I was at the firehouse. So there would be nights where me and my brother would be going on runs with my dad. We'd be sitting at the firehouse. It's really all I'd ever wanted to do, but it was just because that's all I knew, right? So when I was 12 or 13, I was into riding bikes a lot with my dad, road bikes, mountain bikes, all that type of stuff. Well, I was at home. I didn't go on the ride, but there was a guy that my dad was riding with, and they got done with the ride, and the guy didn't even unclip from his pedals on his bike and just collapsed, went to cardiac arrest after riding his bike. My dad started CPR, called the fire department, the local fire department that I'm on now as volunteer. The guy ended up making a full recovery and being back to riding bikes in like a week and a half or 2 weeks. So
Wow.
that kind of made it like, oh, like this actually makes a difference because I've seen it firsthand now. Like I know the guy.
Mhm.
So I enrolled in my EMT class as a senior in high school. Got on my local volunteer department. They sent me to Fire 1 and 2 as soon as I graduated, and then I got hired on right after that. So it really is all I've ever known.
That's awesome. That's all I mean, because there's a lot of talk right now with recruiting the younger generation in the fire service, and there's a lot around that, okay? And I've seen it firsthand myself. Our guys come in, young guys, they don't understand what something is, tool-wise or how to do a certain task that we that have been in the fire service for a while just think it's natural, right? Common sense.
Mm,
And they get chastised and made fun of or put down, and it kinda hurts them wanting to do it and to stay in the fire service. Have you
mhm.
ran into anything like that when you first started out in the fire service and, having someone's thumb on your head? I know you don't have to give names, but a situation where, it kinda made you question if you really wanted to do it because of the way you were treated?
Yeah. So coming in at 18, obviously people have preconceived notions. So in Indiana, it was a it was a thought across the board until right before I got hired or after I got hired or whatever that may be that you couldn't get hired until you were 21 because of the 77 fund, our pension fund. Well, they found out that that's not true, so they opened it up to 18-year-olds. When I got hired, there were a lot of people on my department that did not think under any circumstances that we should be hiring an 18-year-old. So going in, people already had their opinions formed about me. And my probie year was pretty rough. Um, they I give them a lot of credit because I am who I am now because of how hard it was. But it was I mean, I would be there at 5:15 for a 7 a.m. shift, and I wouldn't sit down until 10:30 or 11 o'clock when I would go to bed. So it was rough. And there were a lot of times that I know now that they were kind of just testing me, but there were a lot of times where I was questioning like how can I manipulate this situation for my gain to make this more enjoyable. And as much as I struggled with it, it was still the best job in the world. Like it didn't matter how much they put me down or if I didn't get along with individuals on my crew or how it was, because the second those tones went off, I didn't care what I had to do when I got back to the firehouse. Like I couldn't have cared less. It's still the best job in the world. But in the volunteer world still, I mean, there's people that don't like me. I like my name and my county that I live in is one of those where it's either, "Oh, yeah, I love him," or "I hate that guy." And there's no in between. I mean, there's really nobody that's like, "Oh, yeah, he's alright." Like, it's either no or yes. And and a lot of that's my own doing, obviously. I was starting when I was 17, I was in high school, like, I made dumb decisions, but a lot of it is just preconceived notions and how all that goes.
Now, we're gonna. I try. I say this every time I do a podcast episode. I always try to do like 10 minutes, and I get so interested in the conversation. We go over a little bit. So, do you have any advice for a young person, male or female? It doesn't matter. Young person that is just now getting into the fire service, or maybe facing some issues at their local fire department, and usually the younger generation is moving into the volunteer world, to start, and they're having a hard time. What what advice would you have for them? You not too long ago going through it, for them to continue to stay.
That for me, and the people that know me that watch this are gonna laugh at this point because I don't follow this advice all the time, but just shut up. Like, just stop talking. Like, even if you feel like you do know the most about a topic, the chances are the other people in the conversation either A, already know that you know more, or B, don't care. So, and like I said, everybody that knows me is going to laugh at that because I am awful at it. My opinion is always well known, but just stop talking. Listen to people, right? I mean, we get so caught up in, especially like in my experience in the volunteer world, it's always a battle of who knows more, who has the power. Like I feel like I've had so many more issues on my volunteer departments with like power struggles, whether that's neighboring departments or people in the department. Like it doesn't matter, right? The power doesn't matter because when push comes to shove, what I have to realize, and I'm speaking to myself as much as I am about myself in this, it doesn't matter how much quote unquote power or pull you have. Because if you're the guy or if you're the girl, when you get off that truck, it's going to show, right? So keep your mouth shut, work hard, learn everything you can about what you're doing, and then be good. Let your actions speak for themselves. Like you can tell somebody how great you are, but nobody's going to listen to you. Nobody cares how great you think you are. Prove it. Put your money where your mouth is. Actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely. 27, well, almost 28 years ago. I've been on and off volunteer fire departments for 27, 28 years. Um, just because of moving, that type of stuff. But one thing I learned, because I started when I was 18 as well. And the old guy that's there, the mean, every department has it. I don't care what department in this country or world for that matter you go to, there's always going to be that one guy, the old guy that everybody's like, man, he's mean. No, he doesn't
Hmm.
like me because he just looks mean. No, the guy knows a lot, and you would help yourself if you approached him and said, look, I don't know about any of this stuff, or I need help with this, or I need help with that. I guarantee you that guy is going to be willing to teach you, but you have to show that interest, and you have to be humble. when
Hmm.
when a young person comes up, they are full of excitement for the job, and they want to learn everything, and they want to prove themselves. But like you said, you have two ears and one mouth, right? Use your ears first and ask pertinent questions, right? So yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love it, and hopefully, um, that advice will sink into the right ears and
Mine.
kind of fix what they're having, right? Yeah, you're like, I gotta watch this again to listen to myself say it. I can't believe it, right?
Yeah.
I can't believe I said that. But no, so seriously though, um, if you guys if that are watching this, if you would like to schedule something, again, can you tell them how to get the best way that you would want them to get a hold of you so that they can talk to you about your trainings?
Yeah. One of two ways. The best, you can message the Instagram at pipeman.principles or send an email to pipemanprinciples@gmail.com.
Awesome, man. And here's the other thing too, you being with the younger generation, and you're probably tired of hearing that at your age, but it's okay. Um, with you being with the younger generation, there's no gap there. So when you're doing these trainings, I think it's very beneficial for a department to have you do that training just because of that. Just because of the fact that you're younger and you're already out there training people, which I think is absolutely amazing. Yeah, you might run into a couple salty dogs that don't like it, but whatever. It's because you probably can get down and move that hose faster than anybody else. I mean, I have a hard time sometimes. I'm getting up there in age, you know what I mean? But no, I appreciate you talking with me today. And guys, this was Caleb with Pipeman Principles. I appreciate you doing this. We'll have to talk again soon. And hopefully you get a few people jumping on and send you a message.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, guys. This was K Bill with Social FD going beyond the nozzle. Until next time, check your smoke detectors, sleep with your doors closed, and always take care of each other. Have a good one.